Individualization and loneliness, the hidden cost of modern independence. Sarah sits in her favorite coffee shop, surrounded by 30 other people. Everyone has their heads down, staring at glowing screens. Nobody talks to each other. The only sounds are keyboard clicks and coffee machines. Sarah looks around and realizes something strange. She has never felt so alone while being around so many people. This scene happens every day in coffee shops, restaurants, and public spaces around the world. We live in cities with millions of people. We have thousands of online friends, and we can video chat with someone on the other side of the planet in seconds. Yet something is wrong. Despite all this connection, people feel more alone than ever before. Scientists call this the loneliness epidemic, and the numbers are shocking. In some countries, 1 in 3 people say they feel lonely most of the time. Young people, who should be the most social, are often the loneliest. How did this happen? The answer might surprise you. Our desire to be independent and unique individuals may have accidentally made us isolated and alone. Modern society celebrates individualism like never before. We are taught to be yourself, follow your dreams, and stand out from the crowd. These messages are everywhere in movies, books, advertisements, and social media. Young people, especially, are encouraged to create their own path in life, make their own choices, and not depend too much on others. This focus on individualism has brought many positive changes. People today have more freedom to choose their careers, partners, and lifestyles than ever before. Women can pursue any profession they want. People can travel the world, live in different countries, and experience diverse cultures. Social media and digital culture have amplified the importance of self-presentation and individual branding, allowing people to express themselves in creative ways. However, this individual-focused lifestyle has also changed how we live and interact with others. Many young adults now live alone, work from home, and spend more time online than face-to-face with friends and family. While this gives them independence, it also means they have fewer daily opportunities for deep, meaningful connections with other people. Traditional communities where people knew their neighbors, ate meals together as extended families, and participated in local groups are becoming less common. Instead, people often move to new cities for work or education, leaving behind their support networks. They may have hundreds of online friends, but struggle to find someone to call when they need help or just want to talk. The statistics about loneliness in modern society are truly alarming and show that this problem is much bigger than most people realize. In 2024, approximately 20% of U.S. adults are experiencing daily loneliness, as indicated by a recent Gallup survey. This means that 1 in 5 Americans feels lonely every single day. To put this in perspective, this translates to an estimated 52 million individuals feeling significant loneliness in the United States alone. The situation is even more concerning when we look at specific age groups. Young adults aged 18 to 22 are particularly affected, with about 61% reporting significant feelings of loneliness. This is shocking because these are supposed to be some of the most social years of a person's life, when they are meeting new people in college, starting careers, and forming important relationships. The global picture is equally disturbing. As of 2024, an alarming statistic shows that 33% of individuals globally report feelings of loneliness, which equates to nearly 1 in 4 adults experiencing isolation. This means that loneliness is not just an American problem, it is a worldwide crisis affecting people in developed countries everywhere. What makes these numbers even more concerning is the trend over time. Studies conducted in the UK show that by 2025, the number of people over 50 experiencing feelings of isolation will reach 2 million. By comparison, in 2016, the number was at 1.4 million, so we'll be witnessing a 43% increase. This shows that loneliness is not getting better, it is getting worse and quickly. The impact on elderly people is particularly heartbreaking. 23% of those aged 75 plus and living alone go without speaking to another person for days at a time. Imagine being in your 70s or 80s and having no one to talk to for several days. This level of isolation can have serious effects on both mental and physical health. One of the biggest contradictions of modern life is that we live in the most connected era in human history, yet loneliness rates are higher than ever before. Social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter were supposed to bring people together and help them stay connected. In some ways, they have succeeded. People can easily keep in touch with friends who live far away, share important moments with family members, and meet others who share their interests. However, research shows that social media may actually be making loneliness worse, not better. Social media is causing depression, anxiety, cyberbullying, unrealistic expectations, negative body image, and unhealthy sleeping patterns. When people spend hours scrolling through carefully edited posts showing other people's highlight reels, they often feel worse about their own lives. Social media also encourages a particular type of individualism that can be harmful to real relationships. People often lean toward constructing an online narrative embodying how they want to be perceived by others rather than who they really are. This means that even when people are interacting online, they may not be showing their true selves or forming genuine connections. Studies have reported how the digital age promotes new forms of individualism with self tracking technologies and self presentation in social media. People become focused on creating the perfect online image, getting likes and comments, and competing with others for attention. This can make them feel more isolated and disconnected from authentic relationships. Many young people have recognized this problem themselves. They know social media has a large impact on their mood, including its ability to boost anxiety, depression, and stress. Some people try to solve this by taking breaks from social media, but the platforms are designed to be addictive, making it difficult to stay away for long. Loneliness is not just an emotional problem, it has serious physical health consequences that many people do not realize. Scientists have discovered that chronic loneliness affects the body in ways similar to smoking, obesity, and lack of exercise. A large body of research shows that social isolation and loneliness have a serious impact on physical and mental health. People who are lonely for long periods have higher rates of heart disease, high blood pressure, and stroke. Their immune systems become weaker, making them more likely to get sick. They also have higher levels of stress hormones, which can cause inflammation throughout the body and lead to various health problems. The mental health effects are equally serious. Lonely people are much more likely to develop depression and anxiety disorders. They may have trouble sleeping, concentrating, and making decisions. In extreme cases, chronic loneliness can lead to thoughts of self-harm or suicide, especially among young people who feel they have no one to turn to for support. What makes this even more concerning is that loneliness can become a cycle that is difficult to break. When people feel lonely, they may become more withdrawn and less likely to reach out to others. They might interpret neutral social situations negatively, thinking that others do not like them or want to spend time with them. This makes it even harder to form new relationships or maintain existing ones. The connection between individualism and loneliness is complex, but there are several clear ways that our focus on independence has made it harder for people to maintain close relationships. First, the emphasis on personal achievement and career success often means that people prioritize work over relationships. They may move frequently for job opportunities, work long hours, or travel often for business, making it difficult to build and maintain deep friendships. Second, individualistic cultures often view depending on others as a sign of weakness. People are taught to solve their own problems, handle their own emotions, and not burden others with their difficulties. While self-reliance can be positive, taken too far it can prevent people from reaching out when they need help or support. They may suffer in silence rather than admitting they are struggling. Third, the focus on being unique and different can sometimes make people feel like they do not fit in anywhere. When everyone is trying to stand out and be special, it can be harder to find common ground and shared experiences that bring people together. People may feel pressure to be constantly interesting and successful, which can make social interactions feel performative rather than genuine. Fourth, individualistic societies often lack the strong community structures that historically helped people connect. Extended families may live far apart, religious participation has declined in many areas, and neighborhood communities are less common. Without these built-in social networks, people must work much harder to create and maintain relationships on their own. The loneliness epidemic has significant costs for society as a whole, not just for individual people who are suffering. Healthcare systems spend billions of dollars treating the physical and mental health problems caused by chronic loneliness. People who are lonely visit doctors more often, take more medications, and require more emergency medical care. Workplace productivity also suffers when employees are lonely and isolated. They may have trouble concentrating, take more sick days, and be less creative and collaborative. Companies are beginning to recognize this problem and implement programs to help employees connect with each other and build stronger workplace relationships. Educational systems are also affected. Students who feel lonely and disconnected are more likely to skip school, perform poorly on tests, and drop out entirely. They may struggle to participate in group projects, ask for help when needed, or form study groups with classmates. The economic impact extends beyond healthcare and productivity. Lonely people are less likely to start businesses, volunteer in their communities, or participate in civic activities. They may make fewer purchases, travel less, and contribute less to the overall economy. Some economists estimate that loneliness costs developed countries billions of dollars each year in lost productivity and increased healthcare expenses. Interestingly, not all cultures experience loneliness at the same rates, even as they modernize and adopt more individualistic values. Some societies have found ways to maintain strong social connections while still allowing for personal freedom and individual expression. For example, many Mediterranean cultures continue to emphasize family meals, regular social gatherings, and multi-generational living arrangements. People in these cultures often report lower levels of loneliness despite having access to the same technology and individualistic influences as other developed countries. Some Scandinavian countries have implemented innovative solutions to combat loneliness. They have created community centers where people can gather for meals, activities, and conversation. They have also developed social prescribing programs where doctors can prescribe social activities alongside traditional medical treatments for patients suffering from loneliness. Japan, despite having a reputation for social isolation, has also developed creative approaches to the problem. They have friendship benches in public spaces where people can sit if they want someone to talk to. Some cities have organized loneliness patrols where volunteers check on elderly residents who live alone. While technology and social media have contributed to the loneliness problem, they also offer potential solutions. Video calling allows people to maintain face to face relationships even when separated by distance. Online communities can help people with rare interests or conditions find others who understand their experiences. Some new apps and platforms are specifically designed to help people form real world connections rather than just online ones. These might help people find workout partners, study groups, or hobby clubs in their local area. Virtual reality technology might eventually allow people to have more meaningful long distance interactions that feel closer to being in the same room. However, technology solutions must be designed carefully to avoid making the problem worse. The key is using technology to facilitate real human connections rather than replacing them entirely. People still need face to face interaction, physical touch, and shared experiences in the real world. The solution to the loneliness epidemic is not to abandon individualism entirely and return to traditional community structures. Many aspects of modern individualism are positive and should be preserved. Personal freedom, career opportunities, and the ability to express one's authentic self are all valuable. Instead, we need to find a better balance between individual freedom and community connection. This might mean being more intentional about maintaining relationships, even when it requires effort and sacrifice. It could involve choosing to live closer to family and friends, even if it means accepting a less ideal job or living situation. Communities, schools, and workplaces also have a role to play. They can create more opportunities for people to meet and connect, design spaces that encourage interaction, and develop programs that bring people together around shared interests and goals. Individuals can take several practical steps to combat loneliness in their own lives. They can prioritize spending time with friends and family, even when busy with work or other commitments. They can join clubs, volunteer organizations, or religious communities that align with their interests and values. They can also be more open about their own struggles with loneliness, which can help others feel less alone and create opportunities for deeper connections. As we move forward in the 21st century, we face an important choice about what kind of society we want to live in. We can continue on the current path, where individual achievement and independence are valued above all else, accepting loneliness as an unfortunate but inevitable cost of modern life. Or we can work to create a new model that preserves personal freedom while also prioritizing human connection and community. The statistics make it clear that loneliness is not just a personal problem that some people need to solve on their own. This trend highlights a significant public health concern regarding the emotional state of populations worldwide. It is a societal challenge that requires collective action and new ways of thinking about how we organize our communities, workplaces, and daily lives. The good news is that humans are naturally social creatures who want to connect with others. The capacity for friendship, love, and community still exists. We just need to create better conditions for these connections to flourish. This will require changing some of our assumptions about success, independence, and what makes life meaningful. Perhaps the most important realization is that true individualism does not mean isolation. The strongest, most confident individuals are often those who have deep, supportive relationships with others. They understand that being independent does not mean being alone, and that asking for help or depending on others is not a sign of weakness but a sign of wisdom. The choice is ours to make. We can continue to drift toward a world where everyone is free but alone, or we can work together to build communities where people can be both independent and connected. The future of our mental health, physical well being, and social fabric depends on the decisions we make today about how we want to live and relate to one another. In the end, the solution to loneliness may be simpler than we think. It might start with something as basic as calling a friend instead of texting, having dinner with family instead of eating alone, or taking the time to really listen when someone is talking to us. These small actions, multiplied across millions of people, could begin to heal the isolation that has become one of the defining problems of our time. The journey from individualization back to connection will not be easy, but it is necessary. Our happiness, health, and humanity depend on it.